everyone. Matthew West here. Welcome to Transform. I'm so excited to be part of this event, and how the Lord orchestrated my involvement in Isaac's dream is such a cool story, and I thought I'd start with that before singing a few songs. I was landing at the Jacksonville, Florida airport, and this rather tall gentleman named Joe came up and introduced himself to me, told me that he was my number one biggest fan. Actually, I'm not sure if he said that, but we struck up a conversation, and he shared with me a little bit about his family's heart for changing lives in Ghana. And little did I know that that encounter at baggage claim would lead to me traveling to Kansas City during a pandemic, mind you, to help raise money and support Isaac's dream with a special acoustic concert. And now here I am for Transform. So I'm going to sing a few songs to get us started, and I just hope these songs speak straight to your heart and fire you up and remind you of God's great love for you and how He's called us to share that love with others. And then we're going to get to hear about how God's changing lives in Ghana. God bless you. Thanks for letting me be a part.
Hello, my name is Regret. I'm pretty sure we have met. Every single day of your life, I'm the whisper inside that won't let you forget. Hello, my name is Defeat. I know you recognize me, but just when you think you can win, I'll drag you right back down again until you've lost all belief. But these are the voices, yeah, these are the lies, and I have believed them for the very last time. Hello, my name is Child of the One True King. I've been saved, I've been changed, I have been set free. Amazing grace is the song I sing. Hello, my name is Child of the One True King. Whoa, oh, 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 yeah. Whoa, oh, 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 yeah. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. I am no longer defined by all the wreckage behind, 'cause the one who makes all things new has proven it's true. Just take a look at my life. Whoa, hello, my name is Child of the One True King. Well, I've been saved, I've been changed, I've been set free. An amazing grace is the song I sing. Hello, my name is Child of the One True King. Whoa, oh, 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 hey. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. What love the Father has lavished upon us, that we should be called His children. I am a child of the one true King. Say, what love the Father has lavished upon us, that we should be called His children. Well, I am a child of the one true King. Come on. What love the Father has lavished, yeah, upon us, that we should be called His children. I am a child of the one true King. Amen.
Why did we decide to get Isaac's dream? When I was a younger man, there's the opportunity and the time to go out into the world for ministry and discipleship. But as I've gotten older and getting married and having kids, there's just not that time unless you're specifically called. And with Isaac's dream, there was this opportunity to do that, to be Jesus's hands and feet. And it's a place where I feel like I know. I've seen the school, I know the kids, even though I've never actually been there, and I love that.
Yeah, I remember when we first decided to start sponsoring, and we brought pictures home of Ruth and Godfred, our 2 kids that we were sponsoring, and we showed our girls, and at first they were just kind of confused. They didn't really understand like what we were doing. And so we just tried to explain, you know, these are little kids and we want them in school. We want them to know Jesus. And if we don't sponsor them, there's a good chance that they have to work and be woken up at 4 in the morning and go, you know, work on a lake, even if they're only 4 or 5 years old. One of our daughters was 6 at the time, and she just burst into tears and she said, "Mom, that's not fair." And, you know, we said, "We know, that's why we're doing what we're doing." And I love knowing that we are eternally impacting those kids in Africa, but our own kids are impacted by it as well.
Hey, my name's Chelsea Dillon. I am a wife and mom of 2 boys. I first got involved with Issac Stream because of my dear friend Robin and her husband Joe. I attended an event where they shot a promotional video about how to get involved in Issac Stream. And in addition to that, they showed us life in Ghana, Africa. And I couldn't imagine what I was watching. Children working on boats, as young as 4 or 6 or 8, and thinking of my boys and how some of those children don't come back. That really hit hard with me. First started with just sponsoring 1 child a month, and soon it became 2, and then it was 4. And the joy that brings my family, that we know that we're helping give hope. That's why we got involved. We wanted to share God's love. We wanted to give opportunities to kids that wouldn't otherwise have it.
If I were you, I would've given up on me by now. I would've labeled me a lost cause, 'cause I feel just like a lost cause. If I were you, I would've turned around and walked away. I would've labeled me beyond repair, 'cause I feel like I'm beyond repair. Oh, but somehow you don't see me like I do. Somehow you're still here. You're the God who stays. You're the God who stays. You're the one who runs in my direction when the whole world walks away. You're the God who stands with wide open arms, and you tell me nothing I have ever done could separate my heart from the God who stays. Oh, I used to hide every time I thought I let you down. I always thought I had to earn my way, but I'm learning you don't work that way, no. 'Cause somehow you don't see me like I do. Somehow you're still here. You're the God who stays. You're the God who stays. You're the one who runs in my direction when the whole world walks away. You're the God who stands with wide open arms, and you tell me nothing I have ever done could separate my heart from the God who stays. And my shame, it can't separate my guilt. It can't separate my past. Can't separate. I'm yours forever. My sin can't separate. My scars can't separate. My failures can't separate. I'm yours forever. No enemy can separate. No power of hell can take away. Your love for me will never change. I'm yours forever. 'Cause you're the God who stays. You're the God who stays. You're the one who runs in my direction. When the whole world walks away, you're the God who stands with wide open arms. And you tell me nothing I have ever done could separate my heart from the God who stays. You are the God who stays.
We have been on the board since Isaac Stream began, and it has been such an honor to serve on the board. And our passion is obviously for students. I personally am an educator, and so when I heard Joe and Robin's heart behind starting a school to get kids off the lake and into education, we were jumping at the bit and ready to help in any way we could.
And what I love is the fact that Isaac Stream is partnering with the local communities. They are the educators. They are the ones that are running the school. They're the ones that are educating the children. And it's them and making the investment in education in the children's future. And you're seeing generations that will change as a result of education.
Yeah, the heart really started after Robin had gone on a trip to Ghana and seeing just the effects of childhood slavery on this specific village, but really Lake Volta is the main resource in fishing. But what happens is a lot of times these main fishermen go out and they ask the local villages for anybody who can work on the lake, and oftentimes the only people that can go work are these kids who, instead of going to school during the day, they are going onto the lake and spending their entire day, 18 hours a day, fishing on Lake Volta.
I went to Ghana for the first time with Robin. We had an opportunity to deliver healthcare and some spiritual care to a village outside of the grid. I mean, it was off the beaten path. We carried in about 400 pounds of supplies between a bus, some boats, some people helping us out with bicycles, and then we just hoofed it for a few miles, carrying everything on our backs. And setting up this clinic in the middle of a town that looked like something out of a Rudyard Kipling book, with poles and thatched roofs being most of the structures in the village. No running water, children not wearing much of any clothes at all, and then of course adults having really beautiful dress, very colorful cloth that they took such great pride in. It was a huge eye-opener to how children end up being sold into slavery. And as we gave medical care, we took care of some kids who were obviously being minded by a slave master. And seeing those things in real life helps you as a man of faith, or as a person of belief, and as somebody who just believes in doing the right thing. The impact that has on somebody is long-lasting and really intense. And Robin went from being really engaged in taking care of people as a nurse to being really heavily influenced by the Holy Spirit to make a long-lasting commitment to change the way that this region and this village specifically operated, so that the next kids that are born, the next generations that come along, will have opportunities, will have ability to be educated, and they will not have the scenario where being sold into slavery is the only way that their family feels like they can feed them.
My feet are frozen on this middle ground. The water's warm here, but the fire's gone out. See, I've played it safe for so long, the passion left. Turns out safe is just another word for regret. So I step to the edge and I take a deep breath. We're all dying to live, but we're all so scared to death, yeah. And this is the part where my head tells my heart you should turn back around, but there's no turning back. And now I'm going all in, yeah. Head first to the deep Well, I hear you calling, and this time the fear won't win. Well, I'm going, I'm all in, yeah, I'm all in. I believe that one day I will see your kingdom come, and I want to hear you say, welcome home, my child, well done. So I step to the edge, and I take a deep breath. I'm not turning back around, there's no turning back now. I'm going all in, yeah, head first to the deep end, yeah. Well, I hear you calling, and this time the fear won't win, no. Well, I'm going, I'm all in. Well, I'm all in. Well, I'm all in. Well, I'm all in. Singing all to you, Jesus, I freely give. As long as there's breath in these lungs, I will live with reckless abandon. My heart in your hands, I surrender it all. I'm going all in. I'm going all in, yeah. Well, I'm going all in, head first to the deep end, alright. Well, I hear you calling, oh, this time the fear won't win, no. Well, I'm all in. Well, I'm all in, yeah, I'm all in. Well, I'm all in. Well, I'm all in. Well, I'm all in. Well, I'm all in. I'm all in. I believe that one day I will see your kingdom come, and I want to hear you say, welcome home, my child, well done.
Why I'm involved with Isaac Stream kind of goes back to how I even learned about it. So I attended a luncheon for ministry leaders in the Liberty, North Kansas City area, and Robin was at that luncheon. And so Robin just explained the story that many of you have probably heard about her trip to Ghana and about the kids working on the lake. And she said something that just really rocked my world, which was that the kids go out there as young as 4. And at the time, my oldest son, Evan, was almost 4. And so I just pictured him being on that boat. And then she said that sometimes they had to go get the nets and they don't know how to swim, and he did not know how to swim. And then they never come back up. They die because they can't swim and they have to go get these nets. And so I just remember thinking, like, I just can't believe that we all live in, I think that, I don't remember what the year was, maybe 2019, but we all live in the same year, but that life is so different. Like, I just couldn't even imagine telling Evan he had to get on a boat and let alone fish for things and be out there without a life jacket. And it just blew me away that is how these kids are living every day, and that's normal for them. Like, that's just what they do. And so after the luncheon, I reached out to Robin and I just said, like, I want to be involved. Like, what can I do?
Hello, my name is Bernard Nchi, and I'm from Ghana, and I also sit on the board for Isaac Stream. So a little bit of background about how I got involved with Isaac Stream was after I had my son. We went to the pediatrician appointment for the first time with my wife, and during the doctor's office, he mentioned that there was a lady who is from my home country and has been doing a lot of good work there. So with that mention, I was curious to know who the lady was. So she walks in a few minutes later, and it was Robin. So the first word she said to me was "Akwaba," which means welcome. Now, the very moment she said that, smiles in the room, because I had told my wife what the word means, and for us Ghanaians, it means a lot when someone who's not from our home is able to say the word, especially if they're able to say it properly and the full word in its sense. So we got talking, and she told me all that they've been doing in Ghana with Acts Extreme, and I was given the opportunity to be more involved a year later when I was invited to be part of the board. And what Acts Extreme, in the past couple of years, the impact they've had for me, the biggest one, is the transformation of the community and the village as a whole. Before, when the kids were on the river, weren't going to school, the community as a whole, the teachers, the parents weren't really paying a whole lot of attention as to what future holds for these children. They would go pick up a trade and work. But having an education, having a school in the community has not only changed the lives of these kids, it has also changed the very mindset of the community as a whole. The parents, the chiefs, and the entire merchant community there. They've come to understand that they are able to provide a much more brighter future, much more opportunities for these kids than just picking up a trade.
My name is Kayla Owsley, and I'm 22 years old. I first met Robin at a women's conference last August called Imperfectly Brave. And she had gone up on stage and given a little bit of information about Issac Extreme, and then they played a promo video to show a little bit about what they did out there. And the song in the video was Matthew West, Do Something. And there's a part in the song where he says, "I'm so tired of how we say we are God's hands and feet. It's easier to say than be, and live like angels of apathy." And that was the point where I was bawling my eyes out at this table. And I knew that I wanted to be a part of something like that. I've always wanted to do mission trips, out of the country, and it just had never really lined up. There was never really a real reason I felt like I needed to go until I watched that video and met Robin. So I went up to her booth afterwards, and she had a table full of faces for sponsorship opportunities, and people were just surrounding her, asking tons of questions about each kid, and she could answer every single question about every individual child, which was, moving to me about how really in touch she was with this. And I don't think I understood that until that moment. And so I picked out a little boy, Amos, who was 4 at the time. And I had just mentioned to Robin that I was going to school for social work, and I'd kind of gotten out of that, but I really was, wanting to get back into it. And so I told her if she ever needed me to do paperwork for her, or help with child sponsorship stuff, or intern for her, I would love to. And if she ever went to Africa, that I'd love to go. October rolls around, so I've known Robin for, a total of 2 months now. And I've talked to her for probably a total of 3 hours. And I'd never left the country before. And we got on a plane and went to Africa together. There were a lot of challenges and complications involved due to COVID. And the entire time it was still just exciting. There was no fear in my mind whatsoever about going on this trip. A lot of other people tried to inflict fear on me about, concerns that they may have had, but I knew that God was leading us there for a reason together. And so we get to Ghana, and, we drive 8 hours to the village, and then we canoe to the main village the next day. And we were just greeted by probably 30 faces down by the lake of just smiling children. And I knew in that moment, this is a feeling I want to live in forever. Just never forget that. And so, the whole week we got to do crafts, and we got to, talk about Jesus. And, I really got the opportunity to see what Joe and Robin were giving to these people. And, they're Christians, they believe in Jesus, but just being able to, see him in these people who, these people do not understand why they do this for them. And they, they've lived their entire lives, either working, or they've seen sex trafficking and, child labor and all of that. So for somebody to stand up to it, I think it just raises the awareness in their minds that they're allowed to be something else. So I got to meet Amos, my sponsor baby, and that was, just a feeling I'll never forget. And that was really just my my experience with the entire trip was I want to live in this feeling forever. I want to take it home with me. I want to wake up and feel like this. So, I mean, Isaac's Dream, going on that trip inspired me to go back to school and pursue social work and, be who I want to be.
Well, on behalf of Isaac's Dream, I hope you enjoy the rest of the night. Sit back, relax, and God bless you. Thanks for letting me be a part of this.
Welcome to Transform. I'm Dave Gordon. I'm the general manager of a local Christian radio station in Kansas City, Life 88.5. Through education, Isaac's Dream is breaking the cycle of lost childhoods and giving hope for generations to come. Tonight we're going to hear from various Ghanaian partners about how Prosperity Academy has been impacting one particular village in Africa. And I'm honored to have with me today the founders of Isaac's Dream, Joe and Robin Nuremberg. It's great to have you with us tonight and to get a chance to learn a little more about Isaac's Dream.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's start off, Robin, and find out there are a lot of countries, a lot of places that need help, need assistance. Mm-hmm. Why did you choose Ghana?
Well, first off, I don't think I chose Ghana. I think Ghana chose us. I was selected to go on a medical mission trip, and to Ghana, we worked in several different areas. Our last day of volunteering was in a rural village. We started walking in mud, and we had to cross the water in a canoe. So we were beginning to think if this was the beginning of the end. We didn't know what we were doing or what we'd gotten ourselves into. But the minute we stepped into that village, I knew I would be back. I didn't know why. I just knew I would be back there. And throughout the day, and as we got home, we started learning more about what was going on in Ghana. There's a lot of, it's the hub of child trafficking. If you look up Lake Volta, where we're at, you'll read horror story after horror story of children losing their lives on the lake while working on the fishing boats. And we just knew that we were going to be back. And when I got home and Joe and I started praying about it and doing more research, and we found out that they had never had a school, our little village, Ahave-Kope, it's never had a school there. So our kids have been working on fishing boats. So they've either been involved in child slavery or child trafficking, and we wanted to help give them an option so they didn't have to work on the lake all day. There was another choice for them.
Joe, the theme for this evening is transform. Why did you select that particular word?
Well, we believe that there's been transformation through education. And we'll hear more tonight about Isaac and his story. And it started with him, really, how education transformed his life. And now as we have Prosperity Academy up and going, how the children, students there, their lives are being transformed. They take that home into their families, and families are transformed. Mm-hmm. Transformed families lead to transformed communities. So we just thought that word just echoes just throughout the whole process.
Well, as you hear more from those in Ghana this evening, I'd like for you to watch how the transformation has already started.
Kurasi ha anka yedi nkwala ko nsuo so yedi we nu kwa afuom omo ko school so omo twa nsuo na omo di ko school no se omo ko ada se nsuo mu na ye mamefo no ye ntimi ntena bio
kane no omo twa nsuo ko kuroma na ya dwen edi omo achi yakuma nto ye mu se kola no makwa akwadi nsuo na ja
ni nkwala nnum ena ko school ne mmom nkwala no ko school no nsakraye bia ba nkwala no ho ene nkwala ni at no moni ate keso ye sore ne ye di omko afu ne se aso de entisa
vinya umene ala skoma ka akbanto madano ma oibe ale mi panafu devio oinara togodo atoto ayagbo nino jije mo pemi la fama ya fu dike letme devio oga fi agbo ba aba fama komino konyo kwa vu
nkwala no nko nsuo entwa nsuo nko ba bia bi anyone and one call breaker, you home. If you are course no school, you need to.
Almost alia, or Jalianopa, or mobile school. Or pond school, so oh, or what to make carbon of Okrama.
Acha school malafio. Miavio, Locono Chachang. You think you know? Adodomo, Arono, Chachang Fukaka. Never no Gomasam. Kafia, Madame Ruby, Varusco, and Fear. Your papa, Sukunya Novava. Miavio Kaka Comley, Fong Gana Color Fong. I would deco one. Over Olachi, Ojo, Weir, Skuma. Your papa square of Afia, Novava, Nami.
Oho ya kunkuno oho ba hotu dar bo manami ngao clinico le ti famo ti chona mo o ba mo ta e ba ma juru ho o do vanami o di jo ni o ma ro anemi li amino ada se di mi school hanchi be school never nduru free oho hali na ba mu na gajo mo katanya jo nami ba ko ma da manya do an asigri ni fa la nyongo wa ko le nyongo do de ba da do manan ko ko nya da na o ko le do di
amaya kuma ada e ma ho ko mpo ba ha o mo ni age kama se ya kura se no ayefe obi timi ba na wodi di nko enso ne ya hye Europe nti e beda ya mame ase se ne wa ya maye no na nkopɔ ma ne nyini nche
Sukwa ka kofa kata kofa ha va tro avanya ba amasham na make va kofa kobo mi kofa ma tro ni be aba mi afifia ova fifia bubu ofon kuma ha va cho ofon mo va ko na skoma aba onya ba skunya no va va atwoma gba onwa va no fiara mi mama vioja o ma wema ala skoma o kata kaka na yoko bobo roki aba onya ba chicha ola skuma no fiama yo o bobo roki na chicha ola skuma kwa master kata ona bubu kata abe fionya ba yo ho yo na na jimcho ya atwoma gba yo ha yo ba no tapara be suba ngwagba yi na sko ha ngwagba yi na va kopa manami ama shama na mai kavi ava ko kopa ya kopa trolo kopa nyakpo enya jida po ha mi ho mi ko da ma bo fan akpa la ba ni ko ba kopa tron anu va va na baba kopa manami
etumi hu se ye hu atichafo ne headmasters to da bi ye hu muruni etumi bo game wo ha ma ni o ma nyina anasa bibi akoso kama ama ye nyina nso so ye ni eji se ya tumi anya suku kese we e wo kura na se ya ye di dum kese we atoso a se u fa phone kura utumi ho e wo net.
Je m'appelle Adeti Kakoui. Je suis professeur de français à l'école Prosperity Academy. Et bon, je suis vraiment très content d'enseigner ici parce que les enfants sont vraiment très dévoués. Et chaque matin quand je viens à l'école, ils essaient toujours de me dire quelque chose en français. Et ça, je suis vraiment très content. Et la façon dont ils sont attachés au cours, au français. Vraiment, je suis vraiment très content. Et je pense que quand ils continuent comme ça, bon, dans peu de temps, ils vont commencer à parler un peu le français.
Early in the morning, we make sure we tidy up our hostel. We get to the school. We organize the children to tidy up the classrooms before we get to our classrooms, and then lessons goes on.
Every blessed day at Prosperity has been a great day. I love coming to school early and organizing my students so that lesson can start. Whenever we enter the classroom, we love to socialize before lesson begins. And this has been a great impact on the students.
I love to sing, play, and then tell stories with them because I want to create that conducive environment for them. And for children who are not finding their happiness in their houses, they should find their happiness in the school.
We do more of drawing, and I give them the platform to come out with what they think they have in mind. We do crafts. These are the things I love to do with my students.
Bonjour, Papa. Bonjour, Papa. Comment ça va? Comment ça va?
chaque matin ou bien chaque jour quand je viens ici, je suis vraiment content parce que les enfants, la façon dont ils me considèrent et la façon dont on s'amuse, ça, je suis vraiment content pour ça. Et des fois, on chante et on danse. Je les apprends certaines chansons en français et on essaie de chanter. Là, vraiment, c'est une joie pour nous danser ici.
They are now open and they don't get scared when they come closer to you to bring out anything bothering them. They can now communicate very well with any of the staff members.
Okay, la différence entre ces élèves ici et les élèves d'ailleurs, c'est que ils sont respectueux et ils sont aussi travailleurs. Ils ne fuient pas les cours. Je les enseigne ou bien le moment est venu, c'est eux-mêmes qui me cherchent de venir les enseigner. C'est eux-mêmes qui me cherchent de venir les enseigner. Vraiment, je vois qu'ils sont vraiment dévoués pour la réussite de leur vie scolaire. C'est bon, c'est bon.
We have seen a great impact on them, both academically and then co-curricular activities. They are making good use of these modern technologies. And then some are able to even read signboards.
Teacher need radio class. No so bisa question dia. Na ma piga me sana ma answer. Eni na ma melody and so
My name is Adigbe Philip. I am the expert. I am the school prefect. The thing that makes me excited in this school, when we come to school, we enter classroom and we start learning. When we are learning, when a teacher puts a question on the board, I just raise up my hand and answer the question.
My class 4. And in your office girl in Prosperity Academy. You know, I never did I'm a good person. You're going to get a
When we come to school early in the morning, as Papa's the juniors to sweep and clean the computer, we clean before entering the class.
When I had master for office, I'm a teacher before class. We confront teachers, teacher need book, and then we register at their bus school. Let me sign account.
I'm Mr. Francis Benson, the administrator of Prosperity Academy. Before taking up this appointment as an administrator, I never thought of working in a remote area like this because I had not done that before. Coincidentally, when I got admission to the university, I read a program, Geography and Rural Development. And so when finally this position was advertised and applied for, it was like a dream come true. When I got here, I had wanted to find out exactly what I was going through when I was working in the district capital. And that was the challenges that students who emerged from rural areas faced when they were sent to district capitals to school. And so when I got here, I came to realize that most of the times, it was not the decision of parents to just dump their wards in the district capitals. But because at certain times of the year, life was really very difficult for them, especially those who were into farming and then fishing. I've assured them that formal education is the surest way of getting out of poverty. And so if they don't want their wards to also live the way they are living now, it was very necessary for them to see to it that their children go through formal education. I've been here for the past year, and had it not been coronavirus pandemic, I think my impact would have been very, very necessary on the part of the people living in this community. But aside that, I think that they are doing well. I am doing well with the support of my teachers to bring to the notice of the people in this community and the satellite community to realizing that indeed education is very, very important in the development of their world.
Thank you everybody for helping us. God may bless you, everybody.
Midana sise odi school ebaha. Ye na ye ko school.
So I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to our sponsors.
Nyame nka no ho na omo ano na won hye ne din. Sene odi kura na se ade aye na busua. Bibia ni a otumi ka ye ho wo mu. A ye ni no etumi din sa woso no. Eye fe. Nyame enhira no na wonka no.
In the United States, it's a given that our children will have an education. We take it for granted. But in Ghana, it's a privilege to have an education. Children and families have to pay for that opportunity. But as we saw that transformation occurring through education, I even want to take it a step further. And Joe, if you'd like to share a little bit about Victor, I think that would be good for people to see.
Yeah, so Victor's our contractor, and he's really been, an instrumental part in transforming that village. He's been with us since day one, and has figured out, for those that don't know, everything has to be taken across by canoe to get to the island. So bags of cement are taken across, and then bricks are handmade. He's driven the vision for the school, for housing, for clean water, everything we've done over there. He's played an instrumental part in doing that. And that village hasn't had a school in 50 plus years of existence. This is the first building out there like that in the surrounding community. So not only that, but Victor stays in the village when he goes out there to work, and he's become one of them. He's an elder, he's a counselor. He's just viewed as one of them when he's out there. They even call him Foreman, is his nickname in the village.
So my name is Victor, and then I happen to be the project manager for Issac Dream Foundation. I've been working for Issac Dream Foundation for the past 4 to 5 years now. We started this from 2016 till now. Working for Issac Dream Foundation is like a calling from God, because if you don't have the can-do spirit, if you don't have the Spirit of God in you to help humanity, to help the less privileged, working over here comes with a lot of challenges. Spiritual challenges and physical challenges, and then mental challenges, because you need to psych your mind so that the people will understand you. You need to come down to the level of the people so they can understand you, to know what you really want them to do. And then it's also about experience, getting the right people on board to actually get the job done, getting the right materials to get to the site. It's very, very difficult, very, very challenging, and which sometimes it makes you feel like giving up. But then by the grace of God and the faith we have in Christ, we are still pushing up. That is the most difficult part of this job. From the site to the mouth of the river is about 3,500 meters long. And then we always have to use a canoe or a boat to transport materials on the lake to the island, which is very, very dangerous. Sometimes the wind on the lake alone can capsize the boat.
We are transporting about 30 bags of cement, and it's going to take us about 1 hour 30 minutes to get to the island where the project is being done.
The good thing is, though I'm not from this village, but I happen to understand their language. dealing with them is in a way easier because I speak to them in the local dialect, so they see me to be one of them. You have to make room for people to come to you and tell you their challenges and what they are going through. Then you can also know what to tell them. Sometimes you have to mentor them. Sometimes you just have to give them hope. Issac Dream has been able to put up a community school for Ayavekope, and then we've been able to put up a chip compound, something like a mini clinic also in the village, and then we've been able to put up the teachers' quarters. Teachers' quarters is about 8 rooms, 8 bungalows for 8 teachers. And then also we've been able to put up about 60 students capacity build to contain some students from the hinterlands. And currently we are building a computer lab and then a crèche for the little kids to come to school. In a nutshell, it's been so good to work with Issac Dream Foundation, but it has never been easy working here on this island of Ayavekope, because you can look beside me, forest, snake, you can get snake bites, you can even hear the sound of lions sometimes. It's not been easy working over here. We thank everybody that is donating to Issac Dream Foundation. Really appreciate it, and we hope that you give us more, because we need vehicles to work, we need materials to work, we need a lot of tools to get a job done and make the job so easy for us.
Well, we've seen the stories and started to learn a little more about the foundation Issac's Dream, but it is called Issac's Dream, so I think it's a good opportunity for us to learn a little bit about who Issac is, because he really is the foundation, the end all of what this goal is with Issac's Dream. Robin, if you would share a little bit about how education led Issac to today.
I met Issac on my first trip to Ghana. He was one of the kids that went with us to kind of help translate, and he took pictures and things. So the real way I started talking to him was he came up and asked me what eye candy was. And I said, why do you, he was, one of the doctors told me I was eye candy. So after a good laugh and explaining what that meant, we got to know each other, and we just kept talking, and he shared about his childhood, and he had gotten way behind because he lived on the streets for a long time, so he got way behind in his schoolwork. He was finally able to catch back up. Through getting to know him, we knew what his dreams were as far as doing more video work and photography, and so we were able to send him to a really nice photography school in Ghana. And Issac graduated from the school. Afterwards, he went to work for a big production company in Accra. So he was very excited. He was working on the TV program and doing more photography. And then he went out on his own. Now he has his own website. He's working on developing web pages on his own. We're just really proud of him, and we want the kids out in Ayavekope to have the same opportunities that he's had, as we can see what education did for him and how it's changed his life.
Well, I have a little surprise for you, something you may not be aware of, and that is that all of the video footage that was filmed tonight and you saw from Ghana was actually filmed and edited by Issac himself. Is that right?
That's right.
Wow. That was very good. It's amazing to see. So, Joe, Robin, let's find out how individuals and families who are watching right now can get involved with Issac's Dream.
I'd say first and foremost is our child sponsorship program. That's really evolved and become the lifeblood of Issac's Dream. That's what helps these kids from getting their school uniforms, which is a really big deal. They take a lot of pride in that uniform. Supplies, keeping the school up and going, teacher salaries, things like that. That's really what keeps us going.
Our child sponsorship program is so cool. I say that because I get to be the one that brings the letters. So we don't mail our letters over to the kids. We hand deliver them when we're on a trip. So we know that they've gotten to them. We know that they've been read to them. We get to sit down in a room. We take all the kids who are sponsored and sit down and we read their letters to them, and with an interpreter, of course. And the kids just love to get the pictures from. A lot of people will send family pictures and vacation pictures, and especially if you have a dog, they really love to see your dog. They don't have dogs like that, like we do, like our dogs are all frou-frou here. They don't have that there. So we get to deliver those letters, and then we also get to sit and watch them with dirty hands and dirty crayons write on their letters, and they write those letters back to the sponsors. So it's just a neat opportunity to have sort of a pen pal relationship going on. The kids just love it, and we get so many great reviews from friends at home that are getting the cards and letters back.
It's only $50 a month per child, and just some information on the area and Lake Bult itself is that it's the largest man-made lake in the world. It's estimated that the number of children enslaved in the fishing industry alone is 7,000 to 40,000. The International Justice Mission stated that the majority of these children are 10 years or younger. And they're controlled by violence and food deprivation, starting from the youngest kids scooping water out of the boats to the old ones diving down to untangle nets. Our own government, the U.S. Bureau of International Labor Affairs, reported recently that children in Ghana continue to engage in the worst form of child labor, sometimes as a result of human trafficking. And the U.S. Department of State said that getting Ghanaian children into school is part of the solution to the massive child labor and trafficking problem there is in Ghana.
I challenge you one thing if you're thinking about child sponsorship or even just need a little push to do it. If you have children, go and ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? Think about what they say, think about all the things it's going to take to get them there, all the people who are going to have to help them along the way, and think about the hundreds of kids in Africa who are just now being given the opportunity to answer that question. Some are 3, some are 8, some are 16, some are 18, and they're just now being given that chance to decide because 2 people decided to do something.
And you have an opportunity to be a part of the solution, to be a part of this transformation. We're going to have information for you here on the screen as to how you can become a part and sponsor a child through Issac Stream. On behalf of Robin, on behalf of Joe, and the entire Issac Stream family and friends and team, we want to say thank you so much for joining us for Transform this evening. Through education, Issac Stream is breaking the cycle of lost childhoods and giving hope for generations to come.
I woke up this morning, saw a world full of trouble. Now I thought, how do we ever get so far down, and how's it ever gonna turn around? So I turned my eyes to heaven. I thought, God, why don't you do something? Well, I just couldn't bear the thought of people living in poverty, children sold into slavery. The thought disgusted me, so I shook my fist at heaven. I said, God, why don't you do something? He said, I did. Yeah. I created you. Now listen. If not us, then who? If not me and you. Right now. Well, it's time for us to do something. Talking about how we are God's hands and feet, but it's easier to say than to be. Live like angels of apathy who tell ourselves it's alright, somebody else will do something. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm woke up this morning, saw a world full of trouble now. I thought, how do we ever get so far down? And how's it ever gonna turn around? So I turned my eyes to heaven. I thought, God, why don't you do something? Well, I just couldn't bear the thought of people living in poverty, children sold into slavery. The thought disgusted me, so I shook my fist at heaven. I said, God, why don't you do something? He said, I did. Yeah, I created you. Now listen. If not us, then who? If not me and you, right now. Well, it's time for us to do something. Yeah. If not now, then when will we see an end to all this pain? Oh, it's not enough to do nothing. It's time for us to do something. I'm so tired of talking about how we are God's hands and feet, but it's easier to say than to be. Live like angels of apathy who tell ourselves it's alright, somebody else will do something. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of life with no desire. I don't want a flame, I want a fire. I want to be the one who stands up and says,